Cecily, your German grammar is on the table. We will repeat yesterday's lesson.
But I don't like German. It isn't at all a becoming language. I know perfectly well that I look quite plain after my German lesson.
Child, you know how anxious your guardian is that you should improve yourself in every way.
Dear Uncle Jack is so very serious. Sometimes he is so serious that I think he cannot be quite well.
Your guardian enjoys the best of health. I know no one who has a high sense of duty and responsibility.
I suppose that is why he often looks at the board when we three are together.
Cecily, Mr. Worthing has many troubles in his life. You must remember his constant anxiety about that unfortunate young man, his brother.
I wish Uncle Jack would allow that unfortunate young man, his brother, to come down here sometimes. We might have a good influence over him, Miss Brisson.
I'm not in favor of this modern mania for turning bad people into good people at a moment's notice. As a man sows, so let him reap.
But I see dear Dr. Chasuble coming up through the garden.
Dr. Chasuble, this is indeed a pleasure.
Horrid political economy, horrid geography, horrid German.
Mr. Ernest Worthing has just driven over from the station. He has brought his luggage with him.
Mr. Ernest Worthing, Uncle Jack's brother. Did you tell him Mr. Worthing was in town?
Yes, miss. He seemed very much disappointed. I mentioned that you and Miss Prism were in the garden. He said he was anxious to speak to you privately.
Tell Mr. Ernest Worthing to come here.
Yes, miss.
I have never met any really wicked person before. I feel rather frightened.
You must be my little cousin Cecily, I'm sure.
You are under some strange mistake. I am not little, but I'm your cousin Cecily. You are Uncle Jack's brother, my cousin Ernest. My wicked cousin Ernest.
Oh, I'm not really wicked at all, cousin Cecily.
If you are not, then you have certainly been deceiving us all in a very inexcusable manner. I hope you have not been leading a double life, pretending to be wicked and being really good all the time. That would be hypocrisy.
Of course, I had been rather reckless.
I am glad to hear it. I think you had better wait till Uncle Jack arrives. He wants to speak to you about your emigrating.
My what?
You're emigrating. He has gone up to buy your outfit.
I certainly wouldn't let Jack buy my outfit. He has no taste in neckties at all.
I don't think you will require neckties. Uncle Jack is sending you to Australia.
Australia? I would sooner die.
Well, he said you would have to choose between this world, the next world, and Australia.
Well, the records I have received of Australia and the next world are not particularly encouraging. I think this world is good enough for me, cousin Cecily.
Yes, but are you good enough for it?
I'm afraid not. That's why I want you to reform me.
I'm afraid I've no time this afternoon.
You are the prettiest girl I ever saw.
Miss Brisson says that all good looks are a snare.
You are too much alone, dear Dr. Chasuble. You should get married.
The precept, as well as the practice, of the primitive church was distinctly against matrimony.
And you don't seem to realize, dear doctor, that by persistently remaining single, a man converts himself into a permanent public temptation.
But is a man not equally attractive when married?
No married man is ever attractive, except to his wife. But where is Cecily?
Mr. Worthing.
This is indeed a surprise.
I have returned sooner than I expected. Dr. Chasuble, I hope you're well.
Dear Mr. Worthing, I hope this garbled woe does not betoken some terrible calamity.
My brother.
More shameful death and extravagance.
Still leading his life of pleasure. Dead. Your brother Ernest dead.
Quite dead.
What a lesson for him. I trust he will profit by it.
Dear Mr. Worthing, I offer you my sincere condolence.
Poor Ernest. He had many faults, but it is a sad, sad blow.
Very sad indeed. Were you with him at the end?
No, he died abroad, in Paris in fact. I had a telegram last night from the manager of the Grand Hotel.
And what was the cause of death mentioned?
A severe chill, it seems.
As the man sows, so shall he reap.
And he seems to have expressed a desire to be buried in Paris. Anyway, dear Dr. Chasuble, I suppose you know how to christen, right? I mean, you're continually christening, aren't you?
Is there any particular infant in whom you're interested in, Mr. Worthing?
No, the fact is, I would like to be christened myself this afternoon if you have nothing better to do.
But surely, Mr. Worthing, you have been christened already.
I don't remember anything about it.
At what hour would you wish the ceremony performed?
About 5, if that would suit you.
Perfect, perfect.
Uncle Jack! Oh, I am pleased to see you back. But what horrid clothes you have got on. Do go and change them.
Cecily,
My child, my child.
What is the matter, Uncle Jack? Do look happy. You look as if you had toothache, and I have got such a surprise for you. Who do you think is in the dining room? Your brother.
Who?
Your brother Ernest. He arrived about half an hour ago.
What nonsense, I haven't got a brother.
Oh, don't say that. However badly he may have behaved to you in the past, he is still your brother.
These are very joyful tidings.
after he had all been resigned to his loss, his sudden return seems to me peculiarly distressing.
My brother is in the dining room. I don't know what it all means. I think it's perfectly absurd. Good heavens.
Brother John, I have come down from town to tell you that I am very sorry for all the trouble I have given you, and that I intend to lead a better life in the future.
Uncle Jack, you are not going to refuse your own brother's hand.
Nothing will induce me to take his hand. I think his coming down here disgraceful. He knows perfectly well why.
Uncle Jack, do be nice. There is some good in everyone. Ernest has just been telling me about his poor invalid friend Mr. Bunbury, whom he goes to visit so often. And surely there must be much good in one who is kind to an invalid and leaves the pleasures of London to sit by a bed of pain.
Oh, he has been talking about Bunbury, has he?
Yes, he has told me all about poor Mr. Bunbury and his terrible state of health.
Well, I wouldn't have him talk to you about Bunbury or about anything else. It is a knife to drive one perfectly frantic.
Of course, I admit that the faults were all on my side. But I must say that Brother John's coldness to me is peculiarly painful. I expected a more enthusiastic welcome.
Uncle Jack, if you don't shake hands with Ernest, I will never forgive you.
Never forgive me.
Never, never, never.
Well, this is the last time I shall ever do it.
It's pleasant, is it not, to see so perfect a reconciliation. I think we might leave the two brothers together.
Cecily, you will come with us.
Certainly, Miss Prism. My little task of reconciliation is over.
You have done a beautiful action today, dear child.
We must not be premature in our judgments.
I feel very happy.
You young scoundrel, Algie. You must get out of this place as soon as possible.
I have put Mr. Ernest's things in the room next to yours, sir.
What?
Mr. Ernest's luggage, sir.
His luggage.
Yes, sir.
I'm afraid I can't stay more than a week this time.
Merriman ordered a dog cart at once. Mr. Ernest has been suddenly called back to town.
Yes, sir.
What a fearful lie you are, Jack. I have not been called back to town at all.
Yes, you have.
I haven't heard anyone call me.
Your duty as a gentleman calls you back.
My duty as a gentleman has never interfered with my pleasures in the smallest degree. But I must see her before I go. Ah, there she is.
Oh, I really came back to water the roses. I thought you were with Uncle Jack.
Yeah, he's going to order the dog cart for me. He's going to send me away.
Then have we got to part?
I'm afraid so.
It is always painful to part from people whom one has known for a very brief space of time. The absence of old friends one can endure with equanimity.
The dog guard is at the door, sir.
It can wait 5 minutes.
Yes, miss.
Cecily, I hope I shall not offend you if I state quite frankly and openly that you seem to be in every way the visible personification of absolute perfection.
I think your frankness does you great credit, Ernest. If you will allow me, I will copy your remarks into my diary.
Do you really keep a diary? I'll give anything to look at it. May I?
Oh no! You see, it is simply just a very young girl's record of her own thoughts and impressions.
The dog guard is waiting, sir.
Tell it to come around next week at the same hour.
Yes, sir.
Uncle Jack would be very much annoyed if he knew you were staying until next week at the same hour.
I don't care about Jack. I don't care about anyone in the whole world but you. I love you, Cecily. You will marry me, won't you?
You silly boy. Of course. Why? We have been engaged for the last 3 months.
For the last 3 months.
Yes, it will be exactly 3 months on Thursday.
But how did we become engaged?
Well, ever since dear Uncle Jack first confessed to us that he had a younger brother who was very wicked and bad, you, of course, have formed the chief topic of conversation between myself and Miss Prism. And of course, a man who is much talked about is always very attractive. Dare I say it was foolish of me, but I fell in love with you, Ernest. And this is the box in which I keep all your dear letters.
My letters? But, my dear child, I have not sent you any letters.
You need hardly remind me of that, Ernest. I remember only too well that I was forced to write your letters for you. I wrote always 3 times a week, and sometimes oftener. The 3 you wrote me after I had broken off the engagement are so beautiful and so badly spelt that even now I can hardly read them without crying a little.
But was our engagement ever broken off?
Of course, on the 22nd of last March. Worn out by your entire ignorance of my existence, I determined to end the matter one way or the other. And after a long struggle with myself, I accepted you under this dear old tree here.
But why on earth would you break it off? Cecily, I'm very much hurt indeed to hear that you broke it off.
It would hardly have been a really serious engagement if it hadn't been broken off at least once. But I forgave you before the week was out.
What a perfect angel you are, Cecily.
You must not laugh at me, darling, but it had always been a girlish dream of mine to love someone whose name was Ernest. There is something in that name that seems to inspire absolute confidence. I pity any poor woman whose husband is not called Ernest.
But my own dear, sweet, loving little darling. Do you mean to say that you could not love me if I had some other name?
But what name?
Any name you like. Algernon, for instance.
But I don't like the name of Algernon.
I really can't see why you should object to the name of Algernon. Seriously, Cecily, if my name was Algie, couldn't you love me?
I might respect you, Ernest. I might admire your character. But I fear I should not be able to give you my undivided attention.
Cecily, your rector is here.
Oh, yes. Dr. Chasuble is a most learned man. He has never written a single book, so you can imagine how much he knows.
I must see him at once at the most important christening. Most important business.
Oh,
I'll be back in no time.